Here's everything I consider as a realtor before making an offer on a home I want to buy to move into. Number one is location. Location is everything. Literally, where you move affects your life, your lifestyle, how close you are to work, how close you are to friends and family. The first thing I'm looking at is the area somewhere I would want to be in. Is it safe? Are there lively happenings around me so I can drive a few minutes down to get a bite to eat or hang out at a coffee shop with cool, interesting people? And a good way to gauge the environment of a particular area is to go by the nearest grocery store or coffee shop to see what type of people frequent those areas. So for me personally, I'm seeing how close that property is to my family. I'm seeing how close it is to friends. I'm seeing how close it is to gyms, parks, different areas I like to exercise, how close it is to church. And I'm also thinking long term. I also want to see how close it is to the airport and schools, because I'm not going to live in that house forever. So when I rent it out, I want to be able to attract people who are going to be interested in the property for the specific school system or to be close to the airport because they fly for work. These are the type of things you want to keep in mind long term. So I literally map out the different destinations on a Google Docs when looking at a specific property. I'm a very calculated and visual person, so I like to see my thoughts on paper, and this also helps when comparing one property to another. For the last offer I submitted, I did this process during due diligence because I knew this was a really great opportunity and I wanted to secure the property before anybody else did. Keep in mind that you have the right to back out during your due diligence period for any reason that you choose to. So going under contract quickly gives you leverage by giving you first rights of refusal to purchase the property while still giving you a time period to back out if you choose to. I also recommend talking to neighbors. This is a really easy way to gauge how your specific neighborhood would feel if you moved into the property. Spot Crime is one of the many resources I provide my clients to get an idea of the safety in a particular area that they're looking at. This is a platform that pulls crime data from police records and shows what's going on in that specific area. And I usually encourage people to compare the data they find there to where they're currently living, because you'll be surprised what actually happens right underneath your nose. Next thing I consider is the investment side of things. I'm literally not offering on a property unless I know for sure I'm getting a good deal. And that means in terms of what properties are selling for in the area, what I can rent the property for if I decided to rent it out today, and how home values are trending in the area in terms of the appreciation potential. And there are a lot of different factors that drive these variables, such as developments in the area, the condition of the property. Typically, if you buy a distressed property, then you can force some equity by making renovations to that property. And a lot of people ask me what equity means. Equity is literally just the fair market value minus your outstanding loan balance. So this piece of the puzzle is all about the exit plan. We want to make sure that you're getting a great deal, because real estate is one of the biggest investments you're gonna make in your life, and it's an asset that naturally appreciates over time. But one of the biggest things that you can actually control in terms of the spread you get between when you first purchase and when you sell is how much you purchase for it. So it's essential when making an offer at or below the fair market value based on what recently sold in the area. On the other hand, if you're like me and you prefer to hold on to assets long term, then you're thinking about renting. In regards to the property type, you usually want to lean toward properties that have at least 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, because these usually attract families. 2 bedrooms or 1 bedroom properties exclude bigger rental groups that may have a family or may have a roommate that they want to move in with. So typically I recommend at least 3 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms. This is what the analysis I provide clients looks like. I pull data from the MLS to give you the expected appreciation potential to gauge how much your investment will grow over the years. And I also pull recent sold data to give you an idea of how much the home you want to offer on is worth, which helps structure our offer and ensure we can offer at or below market value to get you a good deal. And guys, I can't stress this part enough. You really don't want to overpay for a property. There are literally people who bought homes in 2021, 2022 when interest rates were low and homes were overvalued. Some of those people are having to bring cash to the table a few years later when they want to sell their property because they're selling at a loss. There are very, very rare circumstances where I would recommend paying more than what the home is actually worth. Probably never, unless we're just looking at the most perfect home and there's a whole bunch of offers and you know you're gonna stick with that home for at least 10 years, 10, 20 years, and you could decide to rent it out as opposed to selling it. But other than that, it really does not make sense to pay more than what the home is actually worth. And that's why I stress this analysis so much when working with clients, because it's really important that we understand the numbers and we're at a good place before actually making an offer. And if you're savvy like me, you could literally walk into a particular opportunity with hundreds and thousands of dollars in equity. This last property I made an offer on was listed at $375,000. I offered $360,000 with $10,000 in closing costs, essentially at a $350,000 net to the seller. And there's a home right now 2 doors down under contract at $460,000 that's very similar to the property that I'm getting. So another great benefit I found that my clients get from working with me is access to off-market properties and just having that keen insight to what a good deal is. Because as soon as I saw that property, I jumped on it. I offered the next day and got it under contract. And when I say savvy, I mean willing to make some renovations. So this property isn't just going to be like a 100K spread. I do have to make some renovations over the years, but as of today, I can move into the property and be comfortable because it's in turnkey condition. The last thing I consider is affordability. So when I'm running my numbers on a new property, I'm looking at what I'm currently spending on my monthly expenses. And the important thing here is you can't just think about how much you're spending on the home. Like the home is just $400,000 or it's just $250,000 or it's just $700,000. You also want to consider what the monthly payment associated with the new loan that you would get is. So in that analysis email, I'm also taking a look at what the expected monthly payment would be with principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and any association fees like an HOA. And then also what the cash to close is. How much is it going to cost to actually purchase the home? If you're putting down 0%, or if you're putting down 3%, or if you're putting down 20%. So we have this conversation early on in our consultation time period, so I can provide you estimates when we're about to make an offer on a home. Now, when I underwrite my opportunities, I analyze keeping in mind that I have a roommate. So that roommate decreases my monthly payment by the amount he pays in rent. This new opportunity, I actually would pay more on the monthly mortgage, but I also knew that there's strong rental demand in the area because there's a lot of hospitals nearby. So this was a part of my analysis, knowing that even though it's going to cost me a little bit more on the mortgage, I know I can get a second roommate and then use that to further decrease my mortgage. And the same thing I say to clients, I wanted to make sure I could cover that monthly balance even if I didn't have a roommate, because you can't rely on other people. At the end of the day, you don't know what could happen. So even on a rainy day, I want to know that I can still cover the monthly mortgage. The standard financial guidance that I've heard is you want to keep your monthly living accommodations less than a third of your monthly gross income. So if you're making about $9,000 a month, then $3,000 total is a safe number to use as your target monthly mortgage payment. If you have any real estate questions or needs, please don't hesitate to reach out. My name is Ade, and I specialize in helping Atlanta in-town homeowners with their next move. So whether that's strategically timing and properly marketing the sale of your current place or finding the right neighborhood fit for your next home, I'm always a call away.